your identity. Who am I? Who am I? We all know with the struggles of the world today, we can get lost in everyday life, right? But that's no excuse for the changes you make. It's sad, it's actually very sad, that sometimes because of the changes that, or the decisions you have chosen to make, whether it be the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, or the lack of self-respect that you have for yourself, that people can't even identify you. It's sad that sometimes your family can't even identify who you are. Think about it. I want you to think about this. How many times have you heard, whether it was said to you or to someone else, or maybe you said it, I don't even know who you are anymore? Could it be, if it was said to you, could it be that the reason it was said to you is because that person that was always there for you finds you so unrecognizable anymore that they can't even stand to see the sight of you anymore? And that's all by your own doing. See, you created this self-made identity. This is all your creation. So you ask yourself, who am I? Some of the things that I may have here may apply to you, some may not. Some of the things that I have here may have been you, and you change. Doesn't necessarily mean that the other stuff doesn't pertain to you. First one, needy. Are you a needy person? What I say about being needy, what do I mean by that? Are you the type of person that needs to be the center of attention? You need to have someone there. You need to have someone hear you. You need to have someone there to tell you everything's going to be all right without you doing anything to make everything all right. Needy. Okay? This is one of my favorite. Fake. Some of you may be as fake as the smile on your face. Some of you may be as fake, I'll say it again, as fake as a smile on your face. Pretending to be someone you're not, just to please someone else. Pretending to be someone you're not because you can't identify who you are yourself. So it goes back to, who am I? Let's see what we have here. Procrastinator. Another good one. There's testimony here. Because I'm sure there's at least one of you out there who talks about doing, but never does. You talk about playing the game, but when on the field, you can't play. And the funny part about it is, when you see someone else doing it, now you want to jump in and get the credit. No. It doesn't work that way. That's a procrastinator. Someone talks about doing but never does. Someone who speaks a good game but can't play. So if that's you, we're going to address that. Like I said, if I offend anyone, good. Pervert. That goes to the men here. And some women could be the same, but I want to speak to the men on this. Are you a pervert? Are you that type of man that can't wait to look down a girl's shirt before you look into her eyes to hear what she got to say? Is that your first instinct? The mouth is not here, the mouth is here. But yet, your eyes are down here. Because your mind is elsewhere. You're not thinking about what's coming out. In fact, you're probably thinking about what you're trying to get in. A doubter. Are you that individual that doubts everything that is said to you, everything that is shown to you? The sad part is that you doubt your own capabilities. So therefore, you can't get to where you need to get. You can't be who you need to be. You can't identify who you need to be as an individual because you doubt everything that is said, shown, or seen. Whatever it may be. Are you that individual? Are you the one that doubts everything? When everything shows you to believe, you look for every other reason to doubt. Selfish. There are plenty of you in here. I feel it. There are plenty of you who are self-centered, who only want to see things your way, who only want things as either my way or the highway, and that is why some of you have been alone for so long. Because it shouldn't be your way. You need to reason. You need to meet someone halfway. If you don't meet someone halfway, then your 50% or the 75 is never going to amount to anything. Because splitting it down the middle, being able to compromise, being able to share something equally is far better than saying, I'm the one who has it all. Because at the end of the day, you will have nothing. Last one I have here. Thief. Many of you associate a thief with someone who steals. That is correct. Stealing is not only centralized with going into a store and taking something without paying for it. Stealing is when you take something, when you borrow something and don't return it. That is stealing. Women are very known for borrowing things from one another, right? But women are also known for not returning it. Okay? That is a thief. That is a form of being a thief. Men, you may not borrow your friend's gear, but you're still a thief. You're the kind of thief that likes to steal hearts. It's not yours. It belongs to someone else. And if that individual trusted in you to give you that part of them, then you know what? You should take care of it. And if that individual says, I want my heart back because you're not the one for me, then you should stop being a thief and return it back to the one it belongs to. All these things in here, okay, may identify with one of you or not. I don't know that. But you see, this is the problem. See, your life is equivalent to an earthquake. Your life is equivalent to an earthquake. You see, when an earthquake comes, what happens? Okay, it starts rumbling the ground. Okay, it starts causing a rumble in the ground. And what happens if the foundation is weak? If the foundation of a building is weak during an earthquake, eventually what's going to happen is that the weight of that, which is on top of the building, on the upper part of the building, is going to start putting a lot of pressure on that foundation. Okay, your life is just like that. And when the earthquake comes and it starts shaking you like that, okay, and your life is shaking and your foundation is being rattled, eventually, just like that building, your foundation is going to give way, and that is your life. It's going to cave in. That weight that's on your shoulders is just going to come down. And it's going to come crashing down. And the thing is that because you wouldn't let these things go, okay, now you're buried underneath them. You're underneath the rubble. And now you're calling out for help. You are now waiting for someone, the rescue team, the search and rescue team, to come and pull you out. That may happen. And it will happen. And I'll tell you why it will happen. It'll happen because Jesus said, I am. Jesus said, I am. In John, I think it's chapter 6, verse 31. I am the light. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. John 8:12. I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness. John 10:9. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. Here goes another one. Let's keep piling it up in there. John 10:11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for his sheep. Let me explain something to you. You see this stuff that weighed upon your shoulders, right? That came crashing down because your foundation was weak. You see, Jesus had the same weight on his shoulders. And the hurricane came, the earthquakes and all those storms came, shaking him. But you know what? Jesus knew his foundation. His foundation was his Father. So therefore, his Father was not going to allow him to break. You need to understand and know what your foundation is. Apparently you do not, because if you did know, then you wouldn't fall apart the way you did. Jesus went through the same things that you did. Every single one of you. He had the weight on his shoulders, and at times it felt unbearable. But you know what? He knew his foundation was solid, and no matter how much it was up here, it was never going to cave down there. You need to be the same way. You need to identify yourself that way. And then you say to yourself, okay, well, I'm not Jesus. You don't have to be Jesus to live like Jesus. Understand that part. But you know how you overcome your foundation falling apart? You know how you do that? You need to know who you are in Christ. John chapter 1, verse 12. Yet to all who received him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. You want to start building your foundation from the beginning? You want to start building a foundation to know that will hold anything that's thrown your way? Start with number one. Know that you are a child of God and you belong to him. That's number one. Let's go to number two. Okay, in Romans chapter 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Say to yourself, I am loved by God, and nothing can separate me from his love. There you go. You are now starting to build yourself a foundation, okay, that's going to withstand anything that's thrown your way. Okay, this is something that you can't go to Home Depot and buy. This is something that only God can provide, all right? That is the part where you need to strengthen yourself. You need to find that inner strength to understand that no matter what is thrown your way, no matter what people tell you, no matter what people predicted you were going to be, you let them know, excuse me, no, I know myself, I know my identity, I know how far I can go, I know how strong I am, and neither you or anyone else or anything you say or do is going to stop me from taking me to where I need to go. But if people identify you as someone who is weak and gives in, then they're going to apply the pressure, and they're going to put that pressure on you, and pressure until you eventually cave in like the building. So you need to build up your strength within yourself. But you can't build something with old materials. It's not going to be the same. You need to get new materials into your life. You need to start building yourself a new identity, a new character, because using old stuff is going to get you old results.